Hi, welcome back to our channel. We're Steve and Audra. Today we're sharing the second part of our very first major road trip that we took this past summer in our self-converted Ford Transit camper van. We're spending some time in the mountains of North Carolina to hike and explore, and we're taking you along with us on our adventure. Today was our day to explore the area northeast of Asheville. We headed up towards Craggy Gardens along the Ridge Parkway. It sure is pretty incredible driving through the mountains. One moment it was clear and we could see the mountains in the distance. Then we went through a tunnel and on the other side the area was completely covered in clouds. We arrived at the trailhead for Craggy Gardens and decided to hike despite the clouds, hoping they would clear out quickly. They didn't. But that actually made for a surreal, magical experience as we walked through the woods. We felt like we were in the setting of a fairy tale, and we enjoyed the experience very much. When we got to one of the overlook points, we couldn't see anything due to the clouds, so we decided to call it quits on hiking there, with the hopes that we'd find another clear location with better views.
Our next stop was Mount Mitchell, the highest point east of the Mississippi with an elevation of 6,684 feet, located in North Carolina's first state park and part of the Black Mountain Range. We hiked up to the observation platform at the summit of the mountain. Just a quick but steep hike, and wow, was the view incredible. Thankfully, this area was clear, and we had a complete panorama with views of mountain peaks in the distance all the way to the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. We spent some time marveling at the landscape before we made our way back down. When we got back to the van, we were pretty tired, so we found a shady spot and took a nap. When we woke up, it was a little like the Twilight Zone. There were tiny bugs all over the bedding and the rest of the van. We had no idea where they were from, but quickly realized they were all over the outside of the van as well, and had been coming in through the ceiling fan. So we quickly closed everything up and shook out all of the bedding. I'll be honest, the bugs freaked us out a bit. Quite weird.
The nice thing about the Ridge Parkway is the many overlooks along the way. We took advantage of several, pulling off to enjoy the various views. My favorite experience about being in the mountains, hands down, is being up above or even with the clouds. I loved the moments where the clouds would move quickly through, completely changing the landscape. At the Glassmine Falls Overlook, clouds moved in very quickly, completely obscuring the view. But then soon after, it was completely clear again. Absolutely incredible. What a marvel to look at creation. We never tire of observing the world around us with all its beauty. Well, apparently Steve does. I don't think he could handle all the beauty.
He can't handle all the trails. I think I've tired Steve out.
The waterfalls in the background are over 800 feet high, one of the highest in the eastern U.S. We spent some time here just enjoying the views and the stillness. Lake Pinnacle Overlook provides over 35 miles of open views of the southeast Swannanoa Valley. This valley includes mixed hardwood and pine forests. It is named in honor of Charles Lane, the owner of the land in the early 1800s. Tanbark Ridge Overlook, just north of Asheville, is said to have been named for a tannery that was located in the area. In the distance, the mountains are High Swan, High Knob, and Lane Pinnacle.
On the way back down the mountain into Asheville, just outside the city, we had quite the surprise when a bear cub climbed over the guardrail and crossed in front of us on the road. We thought we might hit it, but were able to stop in time to watch it cross the road. We didn't have enough time to get our cameras ready though. Unfortunately, I was only able to get the camera rolling as the bear disappeared into the woods.
We drove down into Asheville to the River Arts District, an up-and-coming old industrial area with working art studios and some restaurants. We went to the White Duck Taco Shop, a place I had read about when reading some travel blogs. It was a quirky restaurant with outdoor seating along the river, offering a wide selection of tacos. We tried the Bangkok shrimp, Thai peanut chicken, spicy buffalo chicken, and Korean beef bulgogi tacos. We loved the unique combinations of flavors in each of the tacos. As we ate, we also enjoyed the setting.
These are so good.
Overall, we were pretty pleased with our dinner choice.
Is it good?
You like Asheville, Fatty? Huh?
After dinner, we drove around downtown Asheville to see what we could see. We liked the vibe, but were content just to drive through. It was starting to get dark, so we headed to a Cracker Barrel. We settled in for the night, very comfortable with temps in the mid-60s.
This is what van life really looks like. Stuff hanging. This is our temporary pantry. Fatty just loving life. It's bath time for Gray Gray. Hi, baby. Steve having his evening snack. Going for a walk, Fatty? The next day, we started the morning walking the cats and then got on the road to explore some of the Brevard area south of Asheville in the Pisgah Forest region. They call this area the land of waterfalls.
Courthouse.
First, we stopped at Looking Glass Waterfalls, a pretty but crowded spot. It was a Saturday, so we knew it was probably not the best day for exploring the area, but we also didn't have much of a choice due to our plans for the rest of the trip. The falls were pretty, and it was fun to see people swimming and enjoying the area, but we didn't stay long due to the crowd.
Our next stop, just up the road, was Sliding Rock, a popular swimming spot where there is a 60-foot natural water slide that dumps you into an 8-foot pool of water at the bottom. It was pretty crowded, but we decided it was a unique experience worth the stop. The park had an entry fee of $4 per person, and there was a line with moderate wait time if you wanted to slide down. We took turns and had lots of fun. The water was frigid but refreshing, and since I'm a gentleman, I let Audra go first.
How was it?
A little chilly at the bottom.
Was it bumpy on your butt?
No, it's really not bad. You got a little bounce, didn't you?
A little bit.
Did you like it?
That's fun.
We got back on the road and headed to the next stop on our itinerary, Skinny Dip Falls. Along the way, we stopped for views of the domed Looking Glass Rock, first at Cherry Cove Overlook, then at Looking Glass Rock Overlook. Skinny Dip Falls is a 1-mile moderately trafficked loop trail located near Canton, North Carolina. Once again, there were a lot of people, but it was a really neat spot. People were cliff jumping at the top where there was a deep swimming hole. The river then tumbled over the rocks into a narrow gorge and lower swimming area. Once again, that mountain water was frigid. It took a while to get in, but once in, it was really wonderful. This area was unique in that you could swim up safely under the falls. It was a pretty fun experience. When I finally got out of the water, my lips had turned a little blue and I was shivering. It took quite a while to get warmed up.
We continued west on the parkway to Devil's Courthouse, a high-elevation rocky summit with a fantastic cliff-top overlook at an elevation of 5,720 feet. It was a short but strenuous, steep half-mile hike with a gain of 257 feet.
When we reached the top, we were met with awesome views of 4 different states, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina. It was pretty amazing to see how high we had hiked in such a short time as we looked down below where our van was parked in the distance. There were several other waterfalls and swimming holes in the area to explore, but there just isn't enough time in a day, so we had to narrow down our choices to these few stops. Our last stop for the evening was Cowee Mountain Overlook. Wow. It provided such a panoramic view of the mountain range. We decided to hang out for a couple hours to watch the sunset. We opened up the van and both kitties relaxed enough to enjoy the view. We fixed some dinner and enjoyed the evening. The sunset was well worth the wait. There were enough clouds to make for a colorful sunset, and we loved seeing the varying colors of the mountains as they faded into the distance. What a perfect ending to the day. Tomorrow we'll do more exploring in the area, but you'll need to join us next week to continue the journey. Thanks for joining us today. If you've enjoyed the journey, remember, click that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if you haven't already so you don't miss future episodes. Each click and subscription helps us out, and we load new content each week. See you next time.